Hi guys, welcome back to Daily Astrology. Today I'm going to be doing this video for the transit of Saturn, and in the transit Saturn is getting in the retrograde in motion from July 13th onwards. Now I promised in the monthly reading for the month of July that I will be recording the transit video for Saturn's retrograde because it's a crucial one, and I wanted to share some perspective with you guys as to how it can be impacting us. Now Saturn, of course, is considered to be a malefic, and thereby when a planet which is retrograded, which is considered to have a very high Cheshtabal, a part that is seen in the Shadbala. Many of you who come to my readings, I share the Shadbala scores as well for each of the planets with you guys. And there you would have noticed that it is a component, it's a part. And depending on the Shadbala score of a planet in your chart, you are able to realize that what sort of an impact, positive or negative, auspicious or inauspicious, can be seen in your life. And thereby, in general considerations, Saturn, which is considered to be a malefic, when he gets retrograded, usually because of that Cheshtabal being high, because now the Shadbala overall being higher than normal, the ability of this malefic planet to deliver results is increased. Now, whether or not Saturn's impact in your chart through the transits retrograde will be positive or negative will highly be dependent on the score, on the strength, on the dignity of Saturn in your natal chart. Now, again, I cannot be giving you general indications on that front. Very crudely speaking, somebody might say that an exalted Saturn in most of the charts or in the charts where it is a yoga karaka planet like that for Libra is usually delivering good results. But I have noticed that people with exalted Saturn in Libra or in other zodiacs as well, they tend to struggle with their lives even in their Saturn dashas in Sadesatis. Now, why is that? Because you've got to understand that what is the dignity? Is it direct? Is it retrograde? What is the Shadbala of your planet? How is it positioned? What house, what placement? And based on that, within the particular sign, what kind of points he is getting within Pisces, for example, if he is transiting right now, what sort of points he is getting. And thereby, you will be able to derive a much more comprehensive understanding. However, since it is my fiduciary responsibility to share a generalized perspective which can have an overarching effect, I will be talking during the course of this video to give you a sense that what you should anticipate. But the accurate measure of it will come through if you are able to analyze your natal version as well. I hope, folks, you get a perspective of what I'm trying to say here. And now we should just deep dive to see what sort of a impact you will see with this transit, folks. All right, Taurus guys, for you, Saturn happens to be the lord of your ninth house and your 10th, and he is getting retrograded in your 11th house. I think I've been stating this to everybody that during phase of this retrogression, Saturn is going to be appearing to be moving towards the sign of Aquarius, and astrology is all about combinations, yogas, multiple planets are coming together and their impact in conjunction in combination with each other. And that is exactly the key call out that you have to see. That in your case, yes, Saturn is definitely the Karaka of the 10th house as well, but in general as well in astrology, from a work, career, profession, karma perspective, Saturn holds dear importance and he is moving towards Rahu, which is the representation of digital transformation, tech, AI in the modern era. And I've been calling it that at a mundane level during this retrograde, there is going to be something transformative which is going to come out in the next few months. But for your career professional perspective, too, guys, you have to understand that you will have to embrace, adopt, adapt yourself towards AI, towards the shift that is going to be coming in the space of technology. Now, whilst that key common caveat, which I've been telling everybody, is out of the way, I want to state that It's the ninth lord, 3 places away from itself, which gets retrograded, or the 10th lord, second to itself, gets retrograded. This is going to be a period where you will realize that your goals, objectives, desires, which are seen from the 11th house, will see some level, some degree of delay, some degree of fruition shall get pushed out during this transit for you. And this is not a denial, because for you guys, he happens to be a Yoga Karaka planet like for Libra. So how can it be, a denial in your case? In fact, this retrogression is going to be panning out mostly positive. Again, refer to the initial bit that I mentioned about the Shadbala, the Shantar, the Shah that you are going through, the strength of your Saturn as well. But keeping all those bullets in your mind, we have to understand here that third from itself, the Lord of Fate, sitting into the house of desire, is getting retrograded, means that it is not going to be just your fate itself, which would be enough, but some additional amount of hard work, additional amount of effort, as if something was unfinished business that has to be addressed by you before you start reaping the benefits of your karma, before you start reaping the benefits of your luck, fortune, destiny for that matter. You will find that your superiors, your bosses, your seniors would expect some bit of additional support from you. But this additional out of the box, out of the job description or responsibilities that are being given to you will deliver you rewards as well. You will have gains, monetary gains, wealth gains, results in terms of promotions, growth, development in your career also coming your way, albeit with a delay. So there is a possibility that your boss might say that, this is not the best time for you to get promoted. Give me another quarter, give me a couple of quarters, and I'm going to figure things out. The business is not doing well enough. Or if you are running your own business, you might find certain challenges with your clientele and you've been anticipating some better outcome, but you might have to put in more efforts in your projects, in your work before they start in hiking up your rates or giving you better business, expanding your business for that matter. It will come, but you will be asked by your boss, by your clientele, that you have to put in that more effort. If you're a student watching this video, it could simply mean that you might have to put in more time with your mentor, with your guide, with your teachers. Do as per their direction. And whatever objective, goal, target that you're chasing, be it a selection in a competitive examination to your desired college or school, or to any kind of research that you're doing, the outcome of that might just trickle down for a later point in time. And why do I say that? Jupiter is sitting in the ninth house. He's still supporting you, but he will be coming into the 10th house in his sign of exaltation. And thus, it is important for you to note that from there, he will be giving an aspect back into the sign of Pisces, into your 11th house. So those material gains that you're chasing, they are bound to come. In fact, your current period with the current placement of Jupiter is also amazing. So Taurus, you are going to have one of the best periods, if I may, during this transit. When compared to so many other zodiacs where it has been extremely draining for me to talk about difficult situations, it's going to be a much more peaceful, satisfying period for you, because you are going to see that outcome come much faster to you. This is going to also be a period where, especially if you are watching from a Taurus moon sign perspective, be prepared for a stressful environment at work. And by stressful, I do not mean on the negative side, on a flip side, in terms of your job security or stuff. It's just that I anticipate that many of you might have to go outside your comfort zone and put in more effort. You will realize that you could be in a place at a point in time where you have a lot, thanks to your luck, thanks to how things have been panning out for you. But there has been some lack of preparation. There has been some lack of readiness, as if your knowledge could be missing in certain areas, as if you are not just geared up in terms of your methodology, in terms of your day-to-day activities. Say you are a salesperson, you do not have your rooster prepared in terms of the rodeo that you have to do with your clients. You are a marketing person, you have to go and revisit that how you can embed, say, AI in doing your demand generation. You are a person who's preparing for some kind of some education at your level, and you realize that your success for your project, for the The subject that you're doing is not going to the deepest of the depths that is required in the modern era. And you might have to add and beef up that research more before it becomes presentable, before you become presentable in front of your customers in terms of your audience. And that revisit, that preparation is what this retrogression of Saturn is going to ask about. So it's not going to be a negative bit, but he is going to demand that additional amount of effort coming in from you. And there is a possibility that there could be a certain degree of sternness. There could be a certain degree of directness in communication that could come in from your leadership, your bosses, your superiors, your teachers, your mentors, your father, for that matter. He could be very strict with you at this point in time. This is also going to be a period where you will have to, especially any kind of long distance journeys might not turn out as exciting as you might have imagined. You could see long distance work related, long duration work related travel as well. So either of those two. Maybe you might have to temporarily relocate into some other place as well. That is a possibility for many of you Taurus that will come into play. Now, because Saturn is getting retrograded in your 11th house, he is giving his third aspect, retrograded aspect towards the Lagna as well. And this is where in this exertion, in this time where you have to put in more efforts, please be watchful of your health as well. Now, if you're watching this from a moon sign, be prepared to do that stress management. And as I said, that you will suddenly realize you're not equipped with something. There is something lacking in you. And that might instill some degree of fear as well. But that is the test of Saturn, of the retrograded one. He's trying to see that whether or not you have the mettle to overcome those fears, to overcome that panic. And you will have to do that stress management. You will have to do, that emotion management within you. This is going to be a period that will require you to focus towards your health. It is going to be a period where you might see some unexpected, unanticipated expenses coming your way too. Some level of spiritual awakening, some level of a religious bent of mind could be enhanced. People who are associated with import, export related businesses, they could actually see some profits coming in as well, or their work might see an expansion. If you are associated with some kind of a foreign entity, travel with respect to that foreign entity is definitely on the cards. To a foreign land itself, or maybe far away from your current location. That bit is going to come into picture. Then I also anticipate that many of you Taurus might have to spend in some money expenses, either because of your health or also because of the turbulence that your partner, your spouse, if you are married, could see, or in your relationships too. Like either health related expenses coming into play or some bit of a health related trouble to your partners in your relationship coming into play, or some investment in time, effort, energy, emotional energy as well could come in all these pockets. Saturn is giving an aspect to all these quarters. He is giving an aspect to your Lagna, a retrograded one, then to your fifth house, and then to your eighth house retrograded towards the seventh. So keep that in mind. But this is going to be a tremendous period for you folks to learn something new, to research into new topics. When I said that Saturn's retrograded aspect would want you to pivot something, it might also enable or open doors for people, especially who are into PhD programs, people who are doing graduation, post-graduation education, formal education. It's going to be an excellent period for you to grab real knowledge, not just the certifications and the formal adulation bit of it, but immersing yourself in terms of learning something new and post this retrogression, implementing that in your day-to-day life, in your career, in your work. However, people who are married, who are in relationships, in a formal partnership of some sort, you could see some unexpected situations coming. It might not be one of the best period from a marital relationship perspective. There will be some level of nuance, some level of disturbance, almost to the degree of transformation that will creep in. I would again warn you for the health of your partner in this case. You will have to be watchful for their health too. They might have some bit of issues come in their lives. You might want to see their dasha, antardasha, as well as what ascendant sign and moon sign they are to get more comprehensive understanding. But from your chart, that indication is there. Now, students watching this video, I want to take a step back and tell you that you might feel, many of you could get flunked in your current courses, in your current grades, or the outcomes in terms of your education might not be exactly how you anticipated. It's a bad news from that front. But it's also a good news that if you've not done well, not necessarily flunked, but if you've not done well to your best expectations, this is going to be a period where you will realize your mistakes, and you will, not try to cut corners and really learn something that you have probably missed. So it is going to be a long term lesson that this retrograde Saturn is going to bring in your life. From a family planning perspective, child planning perspective, childbirth perspective, please be careful about that entire process. It can be a tricky period if you are not in a necessary rush to take any actions on that front. It may not be a bad idea to let this retrograde period pass on and then go ahead in that journey, because you are going to get suitable results at that point in time. Your children itself, if you're a parent watching this video, could have certain turbulences in their life, especially in terms of their decision making. Uh, you might have to face a situation where you realize that they are doing something which is not appropriate given the situation they are in, and unappropriate in any shape and form. It could be anything, right? So you would have to be watchful with respect to their decision making, with respect to their habits and how they're spending time. So you'll have to figure out, and please avoid any kind of aggression on that front, because it is not going to pan out well. Mercury is also in retrogression at this point in time whilst I'm recording it. So you'll have to get some nuance there. But this is also going to be a period where many of you might want to take a decision in terms of remodeling part of your house, probably restructuring. I will not be very sure until I see somebody's natal chart in terms of purchase of a real estate, any kind of movable, immovable property, any kind of big assets. But yes, there could be a possibility that you might want, you want to trade in your car and upgrade it. You might want to make subtle upgrades to your home, buy a new set of furniture, just repaint the look and feel of your house. Those kind of creative attributes, those kind of, interests could come into play. Like model level upgrades kind of a thing is definitely possible. You upgrade from one phone to the next level, trade in and make a minor upgrade, but a radical shift should be avoided. Ideally it is not best suited at this point in time. And you, given that your fourth is ruled by Leo, I would want to give some degree of caution there too. And given that you also have Ketu there at this point in time, last but not the least, I think this is going to be an excellent period for many of you to immerse yourself into occult sciences as well, research of new subjects, learning into new, subscribing to Dev Astrology, so that you get to learn different kinds of perspectives as well. And I think somewhere your interest in spirituality, somewhere your interest in religion is going to increase. You are going to put some me time in terms of assimilating that what it means for you. I hope I made sense. So that bit, that connection, that introspection, that thinking at the higher self is going to be triggered, and you'll be surprised. You might find this nuanced at this point in time, but you will see that week over weeks there will be experiences that might make you think in that direction. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Mahadev.